friends, this is Susan Campfield with SueStampfield.com. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I have another cute St. Patrick's Day project to share with you. This one is our St. Patrick's Day owl, or I should say our lucky leprechaun owl. There he is. And he is on what I call a rainbow treat bag. We've got a rainbow of 6 lit candies here. You can see the logo on the back there, and of course we've got our gold at the end of the rainbow here at the bottom with some gold chocolate coins. So let me show you how this project goes together. First question I got a lot when I did my class for this project was, where did you get the candy? I got the candy at my local party store. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to start with our lucky leprechaun here, Owl, and show you how I made him. Of course, I used the owl punch. Those of you that have watched some of my videos know that I love this punch, and I tend to use it for just about everything except for owls. So it was really quite a nice, refreshing change to make an owl for once. So I started with, of course, my owl punch body. So I punched that out, and then I used our Epic Day designer paper to punch out his vest. This is the gumball green color, which matched his hat, so that's what I chose to use. And I'm just going to stick that on. I'm going to just use a little bit of snail. And I'm putting the snail for the vest near the lower portion of the vest, and leaving the upper portion without any adhesive on it. And then, there we go. And then I'm going to add a nose, or a beak I should say. I have a little piece of pumpkin pie. I actually punched that out with the owl punch, one of the eyes. And I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of that with the 2-way glue pen. And then I'm just going to slide it under the vest. Remember, I only put the adhesive at, towards the bottom. So I'm just going to pop in his beak there. Pull that up so you can see it. Get that focused. There we go. So it's just slid under. Don't worry about the part that sticks up. We're going to hide that with his eyeballs here in just a second. So let me pull in the eyes. I went for big, luminous owl eyes on this guy. So I didn't use the little tiny eye part that comes on this punch. I used these these 2 pieces here and here. My goodness, my owl punch. I've used it so much I'm wearing off the picture. So there we have the base of our owl. Let's talk about his wings and then his hat. The wings are made with the 1 1/4 inch scallop punch, and I'm going to take that punch and I punched it out in chocolate chip cardstock just like I did the body, but I'm going to actually cut that in half, and I'm not cutting it, I'm going to bring this up close so you can see, I'm not cutting it between the scallops. I'm cutting it in the middle of a scallop, and by doing that, that's going to give me his wing tip here. Got this idea from Sandy Mathis, and if you go to my blog you'll see a link to the owl that she made for St. Patrick's Day. So this is, it just gives that point to the wing, and it just, I think, looks more bird-like. So the hat is made with the Ticket border punch. The Ticket, it's actually a duo punch. It comes with a small ticket and a large ticket. So I punched out 1 ticket shape with the gumball green, and I'm actually just going to cut it in half. And I'm actually going to throw away this one, or I could save it for another owl. I only need half of the ticket punch for his hat, and I'm going to cut just a little bit off the sides. It's an angle cut. I'm going from the point straight down, and again, it's a very small amount that I'm cutting off. You can always cut more off, but it's pretty hard to add it back on when you've cut too much. So start small, and if you want a deeper angle, you can cut a little more off. So that's the top part of his hat. Let's talk about the band of his hat and the brim of his hat. To do those, I brought in one more punch, and that is the small oval punch. And so I'm going to unlock that here, and I'm going to go to my Gumball Green cardstock, and I'm going to punch out a small oval. And that one actually is just going to be discarded. I'm going to throw that away. I'm going to go back in a second time, bring this up so you can see it, and I'm going to punch out what is going to be just his hat rim. So I punch out an oval first, discard that, and then go back in and punch out the rim. So I've got that. And then I want that hat band, and that's going to be in the basic black. So let me just do exactly the same thing I just did, but with the black. So there we have our hat and our hat band. I'm going to add a little two-way glue to the back of this. I'm not doing it all the way to the edges because I'm going to be cutting those off anyway. And I'm going to stick that on to my hat, like so. And then I'm just going to take the paper snips, and I'm going to snip off the excess part, just like that. And there's our hat band. And there we have his hat. We're going to just add a little bit of embellishment. I took our basic rhinestones, and I took a lime green Sharpie permanent marker and colored it green. And now I'm picking it up with my snips, and I'm going to just add that onto his hat band for a little embellishment. And there we have our owl. Very quickly, let me show you the shamrock. We're using the Wonderful Bird Builder punch, another great one to have in your collection. I'm going to cut off those 3 leaves. I'm going to cut this leaf in half, and that gives me a little base to attach a circle to. The circle is what I'm going to use to build the shamrock. This is another idea I got from Sandy Mathis. Her little leprechaun was holding a shamrock made from the heart punch in this owl punch. So when you get your owl punch, you get a bonus little heart that he can wear on his vest, but in this case we're making it into a shamrock. Very quickly, let me just show you how the top portion is cut. I used the banner framelits and the Big Shot to cut this banner shape. I'm using the champagne glimmer paper and pistachio pudding cardstock to cut those. The base of our topper here is actually a tent. It's a folded piece, and so it tents right over the bag. While I'm thinking of it, I just want to mention that the bag is one of our clear envelopes, and the reason I like to use those for treat bags is they have this great self-adhesive opening that can be sealed and resealed many times. So when I make a project like this, I'd like the recipient to not have to rip the project apart. So this way they can just open that. I put the opening at the bottom. They can open it up and get out the treats, and then they can save the owl topper. It's almost like a little card. So let me just show you how we're going to cut this. We're using the banner framelits. So I like to use a magnetic platform with my framelits because they stick nicely on there. And so slide our little owl out of the way here. I've got my champagne glimmer. I've got my small banner. I do find with these banner framelits, they will go in either way, but if you turn them all this way with the long piece of metal going through the roller of the Big Shot, it makes a lot of clunking and it's harder to turn it. And if you put them in this way, it's just a little more, I guess, aerodynamic, and they go in more smoothly. So this is where we're going to put that biggest size. When you get the banner framelits, you actually get 5 different framelits of varying sizes that coordinate with each other. So I have a piece of the pistachio pudding here, and I'm folding that in half, and I'm going to score it really well with the bone folder. The reason I'm scoring it really well is I don't want it to bounce up and knock my framelit right off, because even though I'm on the magnet, it might do that. So I have to just look here at my project, which direction do I want that, and I want it that way. So I want the fold at the top like so, but I do not want to cut the fold. So I'm going to bring it in here tight so you can see it. I have a wee bit of a gap, if we want to, be St. Patrick's Day here, a wee bit of a gap at the top of that banner framelit so that you can preserve that fold for your project. So we're just going to lay that on there, and now we're ready to bring in our top plate and send that through the Big Shot and cut that for our topper. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Make sure to go to SueStampfield.com to see the full list of supplies, and please comment if you have any questions. Have a very happy St. Patrick's Day. Bye-bye.